Today, we're going to get into my initial impressions of the Panasonic LUMIX S5ii right now. Let's get it.
This life is sort of like a portrait.
All right, we are filming in log today, 2160p, which is also known as H.265 422 10-bit 4K log. Yeah. All right, we're on the Nicky Boy today. Why are we on the Nicky Boy? Why are we not filming on Panny? You're getting put through the ringer today. I got the Panasonic LUMIX S5ii with the 50mm f1.8. I also have the 20-60 kit lens that came with it. I got this camera a couple of weeks ago on a steal. The lens was free. It was like $250-300 off, and this 50mm was free, and the kit lens, I think all included, it was under $2K with taxes and shipping, which is less than the camera itself cost when it's not on sale. So I feel like it was worth it. You know, it's cheaper than the XH2, yet it does shutter angle and a bunch of other things. So penny boy. All right, let me stop. All right, yeah, this was an amazing deal. I told you guys a few episodes ago that I had not previously shot on a Lumix yet. And yeah, I wanted to. So I did. I mean, it was such a good deal. I had to at least give it a shot, and why not? So I did. I got it set up. I went through some tutorials, watched some YouTube videos, because yeah, that's what we do. And I got it all set up for log, shutter angle, got my user settings for photo and video. And I want to go over my initial impressions in comparison to my previous video camera, the XH2. And give you my thoughts and feelings, and you guys can decide from there. And you can certainly drop some comments to let me know what you think about it as well. And speaking of that, while we are on the subject, right now, hit the pause button, boop, drop a thumbs up, and subscribe. Real quick, just subscribe. It's awesome. It's a good channel. We're hanging out. We're doing things. I'm going to try to put out a video every week, but my motivation is going to wane if I'm not continuing to grow. So support me, guys, and I will promise you, you guys want to see something? I'll do it. I'll test it. Why not? Let's do it. This is fun. All right, so we finally did it. We finally got ourselves a Panny Boy in the studio. Now I have the ZF I'm filming on today in log. I have this. This is my main video camera. The ZF's my backup video camera. The ZF's my main street camera. The Leica's my backup street camera, and my main travel camera. I had to give them categories to justify keeping them all, to be honest with you. Oh God. So why Panny Boy? Why in 2024? Why Panasonic in 2024? Let's in all seriousness. Well, it's funny. I saw another fellow Arizonian, Cam McKay, switch over to Panasonic and talked about it's like the best video camera he's ever used. And I got me thinking, like, I don't need this camera, but I want to try the best. I want to see what it's about. I want to see what the differences are. I want to see why people like this camera for cinematography and for video. And I want to bring it to you guys. So that's why I got it. And it was a good deal. Couldn't help it. It's a good deal. And yeah, I'm not going to send it back. Long story short, TLDR, it's a keeper. And let's get into why. I didn't do an unboxing for this one because let's face it, this has been out for over a year now, and I'm sure you've already seen it. But the packaging was actually very, very, very done very well. There was a lot of good cushioning for all the different expensive electronics. First things I noticed when I got it out of the bag and got it into my hands, got it out of the box and got it into my hands was, the ergonomics are great. I can't tell you anything bad about the ergonomics. The grip is very robust. It seems like it's, it's just a good grip. It's a little deep for my hands, actually. It's similar to the XH2. I don't have the biggest of hands. I have medium hands, and it's a little, that does not translate. But it's a little deep for my hands. Still comfortable, still easy to use, no issues there. I did think, though, that the metal seems a little cheap. Coming from a Leica or even this very robust brick of a ZF, this metal feels thin, feels tinny, like it's aluminum, like it's plasticky on the sides. You know, it just doesn't have that very, I don't know, it's hard to explain. It just doesn't feel well built. It feels more like an XT5, for example, or even an XH2 to some extent, like that kind of build quality. But it's no Nikon build quality. It's no Leica build quality. Just know that for sure. Little things like this screen right here on the back. This screen right here on the back doesn't click in, so it's easy just to pull out. It doesn't latch at all. The one on the Nikon, when you close it, it clicks. And it doesn't come out on its own very easily. You almost got to pull it out hard. So that's one thing to notice on this. Just take heed with that. This does not, as I hit my mic, this does not lock when you push it in. Cheaper build quality, cheaper things like the screen. Even the screen is plastic on the back, whereas on the ZF it's metal. This is plastic. It's just a big difference, you know. There's little build quality things like that. But I will say that I love this wheel in the back here. Let's see if I can get this focus on this wheel right here that moves. It just makes accessing things like ISO or getting through the menus very, very, very fast. And this is something that the Sonys have as well. My A7R4 had it when I had it for a small brief second when I went to Portugal. I wanted to test it there and it did not make the cut. It went back to Sony. So anyhow, that's one thing I noticed. Build quality, not the best. It also has slow startup times, as I mentioned on the Leica Q3 initial impressions. It definitely has some slower menus. Battery life is okay. No issues with battery life. I primarily only use this in the studio. The next thing I wanted to get into is kind of like the extending on the ergonomics, like button placement. This button placement of the white balance, ISO, and exposure comp is very familiar to me because I've used this similar type placement on the Z8, Z6 III. So this is very familiar to me. Although it's just nicer to have the ISO on the back wheel, but it's nice to have that, and then you use this wheel to adjust those three. So no issues with that. The ergonomics, the button placement, this button up here is a good placement as well. This AF on button is like perfectly placed, and this this joystick perfectly placed. These two right here, I have no issues getting to them. And then having the play button way over there, that's fine because you're not going to access the play button very often, the playback button very often. So if you didn't know, the autofocus mode is actually on. It's right here on a switch, and in the middle you can press this, and that can change your autofocus zone, spot, tracking, all those types of things. So your autofocus is very, very adjustable from your thumb, and that is awesome as well. You don't have to go into the menus at all to get to your autofocus. So you can get to your white balance, ISO, exposure comp, autofocus types, autofocus style, or subtype, if you will, all from your thumb. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. The way I use this camera, once I set it up, I kind of forget about it because it's really more of a studio use camera. But I'm not the only market for this camera. There's a lot of people that are going to use this for photo and other things, and they want to be able to access these things easily, and you can, is all I'm trying to get at. So, and I want to test the photo capabilities of it. Right now, I've only tested the video capabilities, and I want to test the photo capabilities. So with that, I'm going to get into the capabilities of the S5 II and why I ended up switching to it. I just saw a post from my buddy Made from Java on Instagram where the Sony FX30 and FX3 are finally getting shutter angle. This bad boy has had shutter angle from the get-go, and that is one of the features of this camera that make it a top video camera. If you don't know what shutter angle is, you set your shutter angle to 180 degrees, which is the optimal angle for video, and it will adjust your shutter speed to always ensure that you have that 180 degree shutter type for any frame per second setting you set it to. So if you go from 24p to 60p to 30p, and I'm not going to say 23.9, you know what I mean. If you go between those different speeds, your shutter will adjust accordingly. And if you have your ISO set manually, you'll need to adjust it. If you have it set to auto ISO, it'll adjust your ISO from there. Now you're shooting in log, your ISO is going to be higher anyway. So just make sure, like I'm doing right now, I have on my Nikon, I have my histogram up so that I can make sure that I'm not clipping, because I am shooting in log, and you don't often see if you're overexposed in log. It looks like everything's overexposed always when you're shooting in log, because it looks like just a big muddy mess. I think I showed you guys on a video a couple of videos ago if you want to check that out. The shutter angle is the big one. The other big one for me was open gate. I haven't yet to use open gate very much yet, but being able to shoot full sensor. Okay, hey Chris Brogan, you're on the show now because you've just commented, and and I just saw it. I'll respond to you as soon as I get done filming. So, like I was saying, what was I saying? Chris, you f***ed me up, bro. Okay, open gate, yeah, open gate. This is I don't have script anymore, so I have to remember where I was at. Open gate, so you can record full sensor width. And then you can crop however you want, because you got the full width of the sensor. So if you want to crop vertically for like a short or a reel, which I rarely do because they're boring to me, you can do that. But I want to start getting into them because I definitely got to do all the things that help with the algorithm. And yeah, I guess that's one of them. So open gate, this will do it. This will allow you to crop any which way you want. You can do 17:9, 16:9, 4:3, however you end up wanting to crop with open gate. So that's awesome. So that's another good feature of this camera that I didn't get on a lot of other cameras. Now I think the XH2S does have open gate as well, but again, didn't use it a lot. I'll go more into video. Wanted to talk about log. Recording in log on the Panasonic is a breeze. Number one, it has your exposure compensation meter at the bottom. So yeah, I have the histogram on the Nikon, but the Nikon doesn't show me my exposure meter, so I don't know exactly where I'm at exposure wise. Whereas this will show not only your histogram or depth mapping or any other way, but it'll also show your exposure at the bottom, just like you do in photos. So you'll know if you're overexposed. You don't have to rely on the zebras, for example, to know that you're overexposed or not overexposed. So like that feature tremendously. Definitely like that feature. With this filming in log, there's LUTs that Panasonic puts out for DaVinci. It makes it really, really easy to just boom, switch. Now you're done. But you can also do color space transform, which is what I often do. And again, that is proven to be easy. What I'm trying to get at, though, seriously, is for video, this, while feels cheap, while it doesn't feel, even the lenses just feel, not robust, not weighty. While it might feel cheap, it's a very capable camera. It's probably one of the most capable full frame cameras out there. And I'd highly recommend it if you're looking to do video, all things video, and that's going to be the primary focus. If you want to do hybrid video or mostly photo with some video, this ZF is phenomenal too. It does in-log. It does 24p 4K. It does 60p 4K in-log. So, I don't know yet. If I really prefer this more, I just prefer having a camera in the studio that sits on the tripod that never moves, that I can just go record and go. Because setting up the camera, setting up the lights, and setting up all this stuff to record is boring as shit to me. I want to be out shooting photography, and I want to be in here talking about it. I'm not into like the setting up of a studio, so I want to just set it and forget it. And that's why this is a very affordable option to be able to do that with. I don't know if I'll film on this. I filmed one video just now on this 50mm. I'm gonna see how that turns out. I'll probably switch back to the kit lens because I like being able to reach the camera like I have here on the 28mm 2.8, using a little bit of a glimmer glass. I hope you guys like it. Let's bring this damn thing home. This camera is great for video, easy to color grade, lots of options for LUTs, shutter angle, open gate, video. This is a video dream. I didn't even mention that this is part of the L-Mount Alliance, and that allows you to put Leica lenses on this thing too. And that's another reason why I wanted it. I love the ZF, and I think it's actually great for filming. but I want to be able to just check out some Leica lenses, and now I'm going to be able to natively do that on here. This is going to be my main studio camera going forward. Gas is a problem. It's going to always be a problem. I just enjoy gear too much. I enjoy testing new gear. I enjoy checking out new gear. I want you guys to start sending me some gears to test so I don't have to buy it anymore, because these camera manufacturers, send me your stuff. Gas, gas, gas. That's what we used to say in the military. Gas, gas, gas. That means a gas attack's coming, if you didn't know. Oh, good times, good times. Okay, I'm just rambling. All right. Well, this is going to be my main studio camera. I've accepted my gas syndrome, and I'm just over worrying about it anymore. I'm just going to enjoy what I enjoy. So this is what I enjoy right now. Something new might come out. That's it for now. That's my initial impressions on the Panasonic LUMIX S5ii after using it for a few videos, grading the vlog footage, and just wanted to give you my initial impressions and some things that I've noticed. So take all that, into your buying decision. Would I say this is better than the XH2 for filming? Nah, I wouldn't say that. Not for this type of thing. If you're doing cinematography and you're going to use anamorphic lenses like Cam McKay is, and you're going to make these fantastic cinematographic videos, you definitely need this. But if you're just doing this YouTube stuff like me, the ZF will work just fine. The XH2 I used to use was probably optimal, to be honest with you. I just wanted to try something new. And now I can take all these opinions and bring them to you, and you can make a good buying decision based off of it. But yeah, I like it. It's a good camera. I don't know if I like it better than the XH2, to be honest with you, but it does have features that the XH2 doesn't have, and for that, I'm going to keep it. All right, guys, that's it for this one. Please subscribe, like, do the YouTube things to keep the algorithm pushing my content. I really appreciate it. If you want to see something, you got any questions about any of these cameras or any of the cameras I've talked about, or any camera in general, to be honest with you, let me know. Anyhow, all right, that's it for now. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace. I'm back. All right, let me stop this video. See you guys.